All right, what you?
It ain't but one guy. Hold on.
Hold on.
It ain't but one guy. We ain't but one guy. It ain't but one guy keeping him away from him. That's Terence Crawford. Hey, but one guy.
Everyone in the room picked you to win. Everyone that I asked. Everyone. Except for me. Guess what? Because I heard he could really play.
No. He can't even be Shakur.
He can't fuck with me.
You.
What's your core lie to you?
You lost. I seen the video.
You ain't seen my video.
Oh, I didn't.
Exactly.
I just seen the video.
So exactly. What would happen? Exactly.
Now that you take care of business, how does you and Devin Haney in? How does that fight go?
Knockout.
Say this.
Devin Haney being at 147, he called Devin Haney out. What do you think about that fight if it's 1 or 2 fights away?
It's kind of a tough fight right now because Devin Haney is right back at the top of his game. Devin showed that the weight loss was probably causing him to not have as good punch resistance, and it also probably wasn't causing him to have as much power or explosiveness as he has. He showed tremendous power, tremendous punch resistance in that fight against Norman, and for him to do that means that the weight was probably an issue. Now, if Keyshawn comes up, or if they even do a catch weight, a 143, 144, it's going to be a very interesting fight because I think Devin has more tools and more IQ right now, but Keyshawn is different.
Many people continue to praise Keyshawn Davis for the relentless pressure and explosive power he brings into every fight. His performances have impressed fans and fellow fighters alike, leading some to confidently back him against almost anyone. The belief in his ability has become so strong that several observers say they would confidently pick Davis to win if he shared the ring with elite opponents.
He beat you though.
How you gonna bet on somebody
I'm
else?
gonna bet on him against you.
I will beat you.
No, you can't beat me, but I bet he beat.
Terence Crawford also shared a warning for Devin Haney, making it clear that overlooking Keyshawn Davis would be a serious mistake. In Crawford's opinion, boxing has a way of humbling fighters who underestimate dangerous opponents. He believes Davis possesses the physical strength, determination, and fighting mentality needed to create major problems for anyone standing across from him. Crawford also suggested that the sport is entering a new chapter, with a fresh generation of talent beginning to take center stage.
Wow. You know, out with the old and with the new.
Ali, well, as y'all were asking questions.
Shakur Stevenson believes Keyshawn Davis has earned his place among boxing's brightest rising stars. According to him, Davis has been proving himself every step of the way, and the attention that once belonged to others is now shifting in his direction. Stevenson feels that the spotlight is naturally moving.
Nah, fuck that.
Yeah.
Nigga, come on.
Yeah.
We getting past that, and that was your turn. And I'm not gonna allow and sit back and allow you to even waste that talent that you got. Cause I've been told, Key, for years, bro, you could be one of the best. All you gotta do is just boom.
Yeah.
Discipline.
You know, with both of y'all being the best, they always gonna want it. And I
gotta
know
come with it.
You know they always gonna want to see it, though. You know everybody always gonna want to see it.
We get to see it.
Keyshawn Davis keeps delivering impressive victories. Conversations about his future continue to grow throughout the boxing world. More fans, analysts, and fighters are viewing him as one of the sport's most exciting young contenders, with expectations increasing after every appearance. His recent performances have strengthened the belief.
I know he's dealing with some legal issues. I don't know what happened. He said he had to turn himself in, but I believe he tweeted like, Keyshawn, let's do it.
He said that?
Yeah, but he tweeted like something like that. Yeah.
Well, you know, Bill was in my DMs. We already was talking about it, honestly, before he even hit the media. So I know it's going to happen in 2026.
And you're good going straight to Devin in your first fight at 47?
If it make money, it makes sense.
Right. So obviously I want to get your take on your brother.
For making every fight physically demanding. He isn't afraid to use rough tactics or turn a bout into a gritty contest if that gives him an advantage. During the early rounds, it appeared as though he was allowing Keyshawn Davis to settle into a comfortable rhythm and control the pace. As the fight continued, however, Ortiz changed his strategy. He returned to his trademark physical style, making the action much more difficult and forcing Davis to adjust. That shift caught the attention of many observers who appreciate.
Come up short, but he's always fought hard. He's never been stopped. I thought Keyshawn looked really, really good early on in that fight. He looked very poised, and Jermaine was fighting a fight that you typically don't see him fight. Jermaine is known for being very physical, very rough, and he's going to make it dirty if he has to. He was laying back, and it looked like he was allowing Keyshawn to take some ground and get established, but then Ortiz flipped the script and changed the game plan. He started to get into his normal bag of roughhousing and making things dirty. And I said, man, I like that. I was telling Shakur, I was in the locker room watching. I said, I like what he did right there because he went away, let you get comfortable. And then he said, no, here I am. I'm going to be the guy that you actually thought you was going to be fighting, but I'm not going to do it in the first round. You saw Keyshawn have to.
Many fans believe boxing's biggest names should finally face one another instead of taking lower risk opponents. Matchups involving Devin Haney, Shakur Stevenson, Teofimo Lopez, Gary Anchuan Russell, Lamont Roach, Abdullah Mason, and several other rising contenders are the fight supporters truly want to see. The belief is that these elite competitors belong against each other because they are separated from the rest of the field, both physically and mentally.
Demi, I mean, gotta have that intangibleness about him, where he can be a different guy when it's time to be a different guy. You can never count him out. However, if I were pushing Keyshawn, I would have another fight or two before I fight Devin, just for experience purposes. And if I was Devin, I would try to jump on it right now before he gets those couple fights, because the more experience he gets, the harder he's going to become to beat.
Yeah, that's going to be a tough fight, for Keyshawn Davis. And I think in many respects, Devin Haney too. You can't take Keyshawn Davis light. He can really fight. He's really like that. The weight difference is a concern, and it's a fair question. Is he ready now? Is he ready a fight or two from now? But that's the fight, really. If you really want to scream, I'm back. That's the type of fight that you want, because obviously it's in the Turkey Al-Sheikh universe. And
some observers believe television can make fighters appear larger than they really are. Seeing them in person often changes that perception, leading many to feel that Keyshawn Davis is not giving away as much size as people assume. The biggest question surrounding Davis is not his physical build, but whether he can remain mentally focused throughout his career. If he stays disciplined and fully committed, many believe he has the ability to produce outstanding performances against top competition. There have also been comments regarding reports that Davis may have admitted to drinking during training camp.
It's because there's things each one of them know about each other. They know that those are great fights. We need those fights. We need those fights. We need the Dev and Shakur. We need the Dev and Tio. We need the Africa and Shakur, the Africa and Tio. Then we need the Gary Antoine mixed in there. We need the Lamont Roach mixed in there. It's a lot of guys. The Abdullah Masons mixed in there. It's a lot of guys we need mixed in there. You know what I'm saying? These are the fights we need. Those other guys, the B class, C class guys, they can't keep up with them, either physically or mentally, or both together. They can't keep up with them. You see it.
What kind of message do you think Keyshawn, made it in possibly the 40 to 47 division, beating Jermaine Ortiz the way he did?
I mean, I don't know. 47 is a different division.
Some commentators have described the current welterweight division as lacking excitement compared to previous years. They believe there are only a limited number of meaningful matchups available at the moment, with many of the biggest names already committed to other fights. Because of that situation, the division has become difficult to keep fresh, leaving fans eager for new contenders and new rivalries. Many believe significant changes will be needed before the weight class regains the level of excitement it once had.
Is he too small for 147? He looked good at 40.
No, I don't think he's too small. These guys only look real big on TV. When you see these guys in person, they don't be that big. You know what I'm saying? So he's not too small. No. The thing is, with Keyshawn, can he keep it together? Can he keep it together mentally? If he can keep it together mentally, then we see great fights out of Keyshawn. If he do that he say he been doing, which I don't know if he was lying or not, saying that he was drinking in camp and shit like that, I don't know if that's true. I don't know if it's a lie. I don't know if it's, if he was telling the truth. I don't know. But if he can keep it together mentally, then we see great fights out of Keyshawn.
Say Keyshawn Davis and Devin Haney happen next. Who would you favor?
While the welterweight division currently offers only a handful of attractive matchups, many believe that could change as talented fighters from lighter weight classes begin moving up. Names such as Shakur Stevenson, Keyshawn Davis, Gary Antoine Russell, Edwin de Los Santos, Sabro Matias, and several other rising contenders are viewed as fighters who could inject fresh competition into the division. At the same time, the junior middleweight division appears to have far more possibilities.
And he says he wants to fight Jermaine Ortiz and then move up to welterweight, which would be perfect because, like I told you, I really am the best in this business. Like, everything I say is like clockwork, right? It's amazing to me. Sometimes I amaze myself. So what am I talking about? I literally just said welterweight is dry. It's a stale, stagnant, horrible division right now. Not too many ways to mix and match the guys. And then the guys you could mix and match are pretty much busy. The Ryans, the Barrioses, and the Rollies, as I mentioned at the beginning of this video. And I told you it's going to require, this is how it works in the sport of boxing.
During the discussion, it was mentioned that plans were reportedly being made for a future bout against Lewis Crocker. The idea presented was that after completing that matchup, attention could then shift toward a potential showdown with Devin Haney, provided the opportunity made sense for everyone involved. This sequence of possible opponents sparked conversation about whether that was the intended path forward and how it could influence future negotiations.
Just like Jaron Ennis couldn't make 47 and he moved up to 154, now 54 is cracking. They got 54 out here cracking. Tons of names where you can mix and match the Funduras, the Virgil Ortiz, Jermell Charlo, possibly Errol Spence, Murtazaev, Boots, right? You got tons of ways you could mix and match these people. 47 right now is dry, so it's going to take Shakur's and the Keyshawns and Gary Antoine Russells or the El Rayos, different Edwin de Los Santos, Matias, different guys to move up to start to purge and fill out the division. Right now, it's not many options. Again, Devin versus Lewis Crockpot is a terrible fight.
Some critics questioned why the proposed fight with Lewis Crocker was not presented as the immediate next step from the beginning. They argued that openly announcing that matchup might not have generated much excitement among boxing fans. Instead, Devin Haney's name continued to be mentioned repeatedly. According to those critics, Haney represents a much bigger opportunity in terms of attention and public interest, making his name far more valuable.
So, after you knocked out Jermaine Ortiz, let me get this straight. After you stopped Jermaine Ortiz, you made no mention of Lewis Crocker. The first name you called out was Devin Haney, and the only name. Unless I missed the rest of the interview. And now you saying you had a deal in place to fight Lewis Crocker next. And then if it's worth your while, then you'll fight Devin Haney. Because, and I get it, he believes that he needs to get this belt from Lewis Crocker for them to value him.
When discussing a possible matchup between Keyshawn Davis and Devin Haney, some analysts pointed to Haney's experience as one of the biggest factors in the fight. They believe that experience cannot be overlooked, even though opinions on the outcome remain divided. There was also discussion about Haney's most recent performance, with some suggesting that the version of Haney seen in that fight would present a far greater challenge than Jermaine Ortiz. In their view, Davis would not have the same level of success against Haney that he enjoyed in his previous outing. Questions were also raised about the ending of the Jermaine Ortiz fight.
So what's the point in calling out Devin Haney? Why didn't you tell the world, I'm going to fight Lewis Crocker next? Because he knows it's not going to be acceptable. If he came out and he says, after Jermaine Ortiz, I'm fighting Lewis Crocker, he knows that the fans ain't going to accept that. So he's saying Devin Haney multiple times because he understands what Devin Haney represents. This is what many people will call clout chasing. So you're using Devin Haney's name but you know you have no intentions of fighting him next? Make this make sense.
Many feel those qualities would allow him to remain competitive against elite opponents, especially if he consistently puts his combinations together earlier in the fight. Even with that respect for Davis's talent, some analysts continue to favor Devin Haney in a potential showdown. They believe Haney's experience, durability, and proven ability to absorb clean shots without losing composure could ultimately make the difference in a closely contested fight.
Devin is Devin. Devin going to show up. It's going to be a great fight with either one of them. Because Devin took a loss, and he don't want to take another loss, whether he got it cleaned off his record or not. He don't want to take another fight, though. I ain't gonna lie. Both of them a good fight. I don't think Keyshawn is going to beat Devin. I really don't believe Keyshawn will beat Devin.
Too much experience? Why?
I don't know. I just don't see. But off my prediction yesterday, I'm not gonna get that because people will say things. But skill wise, I don't believe this new Devin that showed up his last fight. Keyshawn is going to be able to run through like he did Ortiz, a smaller guy who seemed like he didn't want to be in there. I ain't gonna lie, as much as I don't like Devin,